Hello, and welcome. I'm Nick, and welcome to another DooM WAD Travelogue. Definitely the first time I'm doing this intro today, and not the second one after a liminal space was too liminal to be captured on film. Thank you to Joe for that joke that I'm just stealing from the ether, which was not recorded. How does this intro go? So this is a show where we say, even though it's not a great idea to be going out right now, that doesn't mean that we can't explore new and interesting spaces. We're just going to do it through the exploration of, by checking out community-built DooM WADs, which are levels, individual levels, level sets, other customizations to the base game. If you've been watching up to this point, you get the idea. Before we get into today's episode, I do want to point out that in a week and a couple of days, I am going to be doing a charity marathon video game live stream for Extra Life. Extra Life is a whole bunch of people do charity marathon live streams, 24 hours. I'm doing it November 7th and 8th, split up 12 hours each day, because I have to sleep in the middle, otherwise I get too grumpy to be useful. And all of while we play games, we're raising money for charity. All of the money goes to Children's Network Miracle Network Children's Hospitals. Again, I do need to write down a script. I should make a note about that. I'll do that later. I will forget to make the note to remind me to write the script. All the money goes to support children's hospitals. There's like a pandemic on, so now more than ever, any money that can go towards healthcare for people in need is important and valued. November 7th and 8th, come by and check it out. If you come by Saturday afternoon, evening, we're going to do Rocket League and Jackbox with anyone who comes by and knows how to behave themselves. I was part of a Jackbox stream the other night, and people did not know how to behave themselves, and that was unfortunate, and it will be extra unfortunate when doing it on a live stream that is going to support children's hospitals, because it's for the kids. Don't be a pile of garbage shaped like a human in general, but especially when trying to raise money for kids. So on today's Audible episode of, I'm gonna say Audible and that you can hear it, we're going to check out a little more Valiant, because I think that's going to be, it's appropriate today. Boy, if people knew what went on before this recording, you would understand it. But it makes a lot of sense to me. And Valiant, we checked it out. I remember liking it a lot. It's broken up into episodes, so we're going to jump into the next episode and see how it goes. And then next week is going to be... I have something in mind for next week. That was the hard part. This week I wasn't sure what I was doing. Next week I already know what I'm doing, because it's the last one before that live stream I talked about too. I'm just rambling now. Let's play some Doom. And the last rule for anybody who's new, we are playing for the exploration, not for the challenge. So we play on the easiest mode, and if we get supremely stuck, we'll jump into God mode or no clip or whatever it takes to see more of the level. Okay, I need to bring up the whole game window. There we are. And normally there's music to warn me how loud it is. Last time we played a different breed. Now let's jump into Abattoir of Thy Madness. Easiest. Don't need a console. Oh. Nope. Oh, okay. Hang on. I have something to say about this. Just give me a second. God, and you're down there too? And this is the easiest level? And this is the easiest level. Okay. So Very rude to start us off. I believe I've referred to this as a danger start before. Especially on easiest. Start in the middle where everything's terrible. I wonder if it would make some sense if I remembered how we ended last time. Oh, starting with like all health and armor though. Danger starts are just rude. What if you had no chance to get your bearings? Although giving you the cut. That's. What if I leave? What if I leave? This is going badly. So I was going to say maybe a gift to put the chain gun right there, which is a bit weird because the weapons here have already been modified so the chain gun fires more, and your starting pistol is already an automatic with a higher rate of fire than the vanilla pistol. But considering you basically only have the ammo that you start with, giving you something to just dump that ammo way faster is probably rude. That's probably a juke. That's probably just like, hey, here's a gift that you don't want. It's a very thanks I hate it kind of moment, I guess. Here we go. Okay. And then he's over there. I have to guess this spiral is designed to get us up here so we can fall, get these, and then the suit is so we can get down here, and if there's not specifically some kind of secret down here to get to, then there's probably like this intended escape route is down here, right? Have to remember, this is supposed to... Alright, think about it this way. If this is a hazardous environment suit, then aren't bullets a part of the environment that are hazardous? How come it's not bulletproof? Red key up there. Not having a chance to breathe, also not having had a chance to get grips on this situation. So these imps are... They got like double tap on their fireballs. Okay, so we're back at this hub, back at the start. Okay, if there's gonna be like a weird like 4-path looping, that's cute. Alright, we got blue. How's our ammo look? Not a lot of either. Plenty. Oh, okay, so this feels like an apology for how they started the level. And I accept. That being said, let me... Alright. Bauhaus, Bloodlines, Lilium... The Mystery of Hell. Those are maps. Mancubian candidate. Yes! Alright, this is our old quick save. Just, uh-oh. I understand. Okay, interesting. Don't like. That is like a cool... I guess that's a building, right? Did I... No, I went over. I'm aiming high again. Oh no, I got him. You want to aim for feet, because then your damage is at least close. Oh boy. So these are good canyon walls, I gotta say. They feel very natural. The putting all the trees up the sides of them is very good. I can't even tell if they are actually sort of sloped or if they're just curved in such a way that you kind of read slopes on them. Either way, that's pretty good. Ow, 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 ow. I don't like this. I don't like this. Sam I am. I could jump down there and work my way up the side wall. Maybe? Damn it. Damage hits? Hits his crits? Just walking this tight rope. Nope, he's still up there. One nice thing about DooM is no damage fall off, but that spread is not doing me any favors. Okay, and I'm no longer picking up rockets, so now following this trail is a bit of a waste. Let's let that clear that out. Oh, one guy is still up. Get him? Shoot. It's fine. Also, it's fine. Also, it's fine. All right, more chain gun. Oh, and this doesn't. Okay. Listen, you want to have like a exploding ball fight? We can do that. This thing always sounded like the Nerf Bazooka anyway. Alright, so I guess now we try and walk our way back. This is a lot of health. I'm gonna say this map was designed to sort of be easy through not lessening the challenge, but giving plenty of leeway in the form of health items and ammo and all of that. That's fine. I don't want to touch the green. Anytime I touch fuzzy, I get dizzy. I don't know. Okay, so if... No, not everything's clear. Big boy is still up there. It's still big boy season. I think I saw a splatter. Alright. Oh, and this is as far as you want to get anyway, because... Alright. I kind of like that challenge. Now we go yellow. Yeah, I'll take that. Why is everybody here already dead? Oh! Because that gets us up here. Okay, okay. That's an elevator. That's not an elevator. That's gonna be an elevator that we open a different way? No, something else happened. Oh, hey, robot legs. Okay. I would really like you to fall down. Yes, waste time picking them up, please. Okay. Where's that guy? You. Go down. Where did he come out of? Like, I didn't even touch the switch. Not since Breath of the Wild came out, you know what I'm saying? I played that on Wii U. Okay, so if I hit this, I would assume that brings in. I gotta run. Hey, you gotta run for that one? This is a nice cave. This is a nice cave because it's simple. It's kind of just a donut, and then they added a couple more rooms off of that donut. So as far as cave goes, definitely feels like a cave, but it isn't actually that complicated to navigate. Okay, refresh the pillars. I kind of like that. Just the sort of watching them raise up to your level makes it feel like they're following you. It's like, yeah, no, danger follows you. Makes it feel like that level has an eye on you. I do like this really tall, really thick border wall feeling. Even though it's got the grass on it to make it still feel like kind of natural. All of the brick on it, just the very, it's stocky. The width of the path is very consistent. It's one height level. It's very, and again, just the brick on it, it gives it a very good. I mean, just look at it. Like you have this very. We went from the cave to this man-made thing. Really good transition of materials, I guess I might call it. Where are we now? Okay, this was up over. That's where the blue key was. Here's my boy. I remember you from not dealing with you before. Okay. Aha. Hey, what's going on, Cody? Welcome to the stream. We're looking at further into a WAD we have looked at before. And just, you know, just kind of playing a game this week. Things have been going weird. Everybody's high stress because of, you know, everything. Oh. Hey. Okay, this is... So I guess to get to red, they just want us to jump back down. But what if I looked backwards? Actually, this is the safe way down. Okay. Let's do one more save, even though we're totally stacked. Oh, hello. All right, all brick, very square, some pillars, some metals. Yeah, no, I'm having a bit of a poor frame rate today. Get that sometimes, you know, more complex WAD, bigger maps, more things going on, more decorations in it. Oh, is this gonna be like a boss fight? Is this a boss arena? There was one I played not that long ago that also had was giving me some chugging. I think it's really because I'm doing OBS, because I've got a camera going, I've got another camera plugged in that's not even showing anything. I mean, I can put it on the screen just to have fun. No, I don't have lights for what it's showing. That would just be weird. When I played this not capturing it, when I'm playing this just to play it, it runs fine. There was one which I think I have on the list, and I don't think I don't think we've done it on the stream yet, but in the README for it, it actually does say, hey, this only works with certain ports because it maxes out. So like there was a thing in the. All right, how to explain the limitations? So every wall, every step on the floor, every change in geometry has a line definition to it. It's endpoints and the line and the properties of the line. Is this a flat wall? Is it got textures? Does it block sound? Whatever. Each one of those is a line. In Vanilla Doom, that was capped at like 255, 256 or whatever, right? So every level could only be so big because you would just literally run out of lines. And it was 256 because RAM, binary, powers of 2, for that reason, basically. In the, modern ports, they basically added another bit or two to that, so it went from like 256 to 1024, and then whatever the one after that is. I don't know what it is now. But so one of the WADs on my list maxed out the new limit, which was them saying like, hey, we're future-proofing it, we're raising it up to a point that no one should ever really need to hit that high based on what they were thinking when they raised it. And then they hit it again. And so it actually very specifically says like, hey, just because of like how thick this one is, you can only run it in certain ports just because of the way that they handle rendering and optimizing the way it shows the amount of lines. And it's just like, oh, okay, you went nuts with it. Great, cool, love it. I could try running that one for these streams, and it would probably help with the chugging. But honestly, I use the port that I do because when you look up, the way this one renders, it keeps the perspective right. You don't get that weird like movie screen effect where you look up but everything stays flat like this, and it honestly that makes me, I'm not gonna say motion sick, but it just doesn't look good, and we're here to look at the places, so I picked the one that makes all the places look the prettiest, I felt. It's so that map in particular is so cool because it is like I just picked one of the switches like kind of at random. Oh no. Like that map is huge, but a part of what's cool about it is that it's so huge, and the way I understand it, a lot of that space is. Oh, are they getting crushed? Hey, can y'all just get crushed till you die, please? Alright, I need to take out you because you're gonna launch souls. And they're doing a thing, and okay, and now a bunch of these little guys left. Yeah, and his big map is just, a lot of it is just empty. A lot of it is just, it is like just detailed, and it is quiet, and like enemy encounters are sparse, and it is just like, it is more like Silent Hill than it is like Doom is I think the description I would give it, Okay, so that all happened. I'll take that and resave, and then I'll hit this other switch. So I'm guessing it's just going to be this, which then we ride back up. And now we traipse through the crushers. Ooh. Did you hear that? I heard it. Yeah, basically. Except like it's not even like that was the other part that's interesting about that map, and now I'm talking about it so much I have to move it up on the list, I guess. Figure out how we're gonna. I didn't really need that, but I think this is the end of the level, so yeah. Is this just me, or does this end music sound like it could be in Mega Man X somewhere? Like the map isn't a Hellgate map. It's not, you know, pretending to be like Doom continuity. It is like a shockingly realistically styled like Earth Russian town. We did do the map. We did another map by the same author. The one that was like snowy, quiet, and then we had to go through it had like the open air market, and it ended in like a mall, and there was the mother brain in the middle of a big parking lot that we shot from a rooftop like ledge. It's that same author, so it had that very same just like oh, if you told me this was based on a real town, I could believe it. Angrier arch. No, bad. I don't like it. Why would you start it this way? I like the roof though. Like it makes it feel like a faux second floor, like that could actually be like a ledge up there, but it is not. It is just well decorated and extra tall, and I'm gonna. Okay, pickups don't make noise. That's good to know. Ah! Did one just leave? If the idea is they teleport to other parts of the map, and this is kind of just telling you, hey, this is the lineup of who you're gonna fight, can I shoot them here? Is it even possible to win if I try to shoot them here? Because would they just pick each other up faster than I can DPS all of them individually? I had to find out. I had to open my mouth. Creepy. Okay, and now this feels like that. No, yeah, stop it. That is a Mega Sphere. It gives you 200 health and armor, which I already have because that was the last thing I grabbed before. Yeah, I need y'all to stop doing that. That was the last thing I grabbed before exiting the last level, so it would be a waste to grab it right now. Hey, why does this end in this weird part of wall? Wow, okay, so is this part of the... Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because how would you do this? Would you create one texture that was like the size of this, or is this... No, that is 2 levels of edge ring with differing amount. Like there is the dirt edge, the flat grass in the middle, and then the sort of dirty edge over here. Okay, that makes, now I see it here too. That makes a lot of sense on how to do that, but it makes a nice transition, you gotta say. Like it's actually kind of the simple way to do it, just to have like 3 levels of dirt to grass transition, but or not even of transition, it's 1 level of transition, just used very well. Where are they going to appear next? It spooks me every time. Okay, cute. Even on these little pillars for the torches, there's you know, composed of different materials. It looks good. You joke? I almost played the Minecraft WAD today. I almost played it. I got it in the back pocket. I was thinking about doing it, and then I said, no, I want to play it a little more low-key this week. I don't want to go that full bonkers. That's on the list. It's going to happen not too far in the future. Minecraft WAD is out there. Yeah. I haven't actually fought anything on this map yet. They just keep taunting me. See, I feel like this has to be like telling something, right? Like, why is this part of it? Grass goes away when there's a path, when it's worn, you know, when it's high activity. Lighting. Why does it look kind of green? It's shiny. Yeah, I was playing with my lighting today. I need to fix it. Yeah. It is hilarious though. It is hilarious though. I am kind of lost. We're just going up basically, right? Just in and out. Just peekaboo. Oh, hey. Nice nice cathedral. Yeah, and the arch. These are fake archways. That is a texture with a smooth arch on it, but it is fake because it is see-through. Oh, I can't walk up there anyway. I'm okay with that. Honestly, here's the thing: is the tricks that I'm seeing here are like, oh wow, these grass too. You notice how they don't always face us, which means they're not decoration sprites. They hold their position, which means these are also walls. They're just pegged to the floor, and they're very short. But these are just sort of like grass. These are wall textures. Okay. No, yeah. This author is, I believe this is Skillsaw again. Doing a lot with a little. All of the little, like the transition of the path and the grass and the archways. These are all like the least complicated ways to do them in like the engine sense. It is like a lot of like it's almost like moving all the work to pre or post production, because it's just like, you know, these are just, as far as the game is concerned, these are simple ways of doing it. As far as the engine is concerned, these are simple ways of achieving these effects. But it is like, yeah, no, this is extra work in terms of texture work and about actually putting the detailing. But then even then, it's not like it's just a lot of walls. You don't have to worry about any scripting. You don't have to worry about any multiple floors. It's just I'm waiting for this to be the place where we actually have the fight. Like it's like it is weird. Like I almost don't want to call it clever, because it is sort of the most like simple thought solution, but it's also not the lazy solution, because it still requires work, but it's just, it moves that work, you know? Or, you know, considering that this is one of the WADs that is chugging as I try to capture it, like, there's enough other work going on that, like, yeah, no, maybe you have to do that this simple way, because trying to complicate it too much would break it. Okay, I want to look at this for a hot second, because to put the trim, because like you have to remember that the wall faces and the floor faces are completely separate, unrelated entities. But to put that little trim of gray stone floor against the gray stone sidewall that goes down is absolutely giving the appearance that this is like this wall, this material has a thickness to it. That is a great way to say to like trick you into feeling that it's like no, this is a inset material with this other material around it. That is like an attention to detail to convey the material of this piece of geometry. Why is this the part that impresses me? I don't know. Let's jump down. Okay. Okay. Oh, please don't just start. What are you? Keep count. The level's called 14 Angry Archviles, and that was two? No, you were too close. Yep, nope. Took health damage on that. Hello. Absolutely wasted the shells on that. Okay, they're up there. Okay. Okay, we've made it to the level. I appreciate everything that we've seen up until this point, but like I have needed to shoot now and just really dumping you into it. I want to start on this side because this side doesn't immediately deliver us a new weapon, as if to say, if you give us a weapon, usually it's because it's saying you're gonna need this. Very it's dangerous to go alone sort of messaging. Aha. Are you up here? Would you like to not be anywhere? Oh, thank you for this pillar. Okay. This is the Soul Sphere, which will give us 100 health on top of whatever we have. And here's the blue armor, which gives us 200, and it actually... blue armor actually soaks up more damage than green armor. I still can't believe that. Because once you pick it up, nothing tells you that, and that's like a... you just kind of have to remember what armor you grabbed last. I wonder how it counts once it reaches 0. So if you grab the blue, which sucks up more armor, and then you pick up a green, you swap it out. But you only can pick it up once your blue armor has absorbed enough damage that it is less than 100, and it would actually... and the 100 of the green is actually more than you have left on the blue. I need you to fall down. Hello, cat running past my legs. What's up? You get spooked by something? Or you just really want to beg me for cookies right now at this moment? Oh, come on. I need this to be my safe space because that guy is right there. Here? Okay. Alright. That could have been way worse. And I'm gonna guess this lets us out of here somehow after a fashion. Oh, that just opened that whole wall. Okay. Oh, it opened mini wall. Okay. Since we did that bright yellow map we did a couple of weeks ago. I am definitely interested in the amount of levels that, or just in the like, maybe it's a gimmick, maybe it feels like a gimmick because like you can have a couple of different ways of doing it, but you're kind of just doing the same thing every time. Is by using designs of windows and ledges that surround pillars with one big boss on it, where they basically have sharper aim than you do, in order to be like, yeah, no, this window is here to let this turret outside see you and give you pressure. Even though you maybe aren't in the best position to handle them at the moment. But what if I just, you know, handled it? Ow. That's a chain gunner down there. Okay. It's fine. What if we just chill for a minute? That's such overkill. I do not need that many bullets. Hey, y'all gonna have a... Are you... Okay, no, you're trying to get to me. Oh, but you're hitting... Oh, you're hitting walls down there somehow? You're getting tripped up by that? Interesting. By interesting, I mean... Stop. Stop. So last week in the Verdant Citadel, which I'm still thinking about that map. I was really impressed by everything about that. We saw the opposite, where it had us go, oh, do I want to grab that? It's not a teleporter. So yes, I do want to grab it. And they wandered out of the Blood Falls. Okay. Yep, no, I hear you. I feel you. And I shoot chain gun at you. Maria. Is that the name of the lady from... I swear those are the brain squids from Duke 3D. I swear. Like, they are crowded, but they're floating, so it's hard to use that blast damage to my advantage. Wow, really? I mean, back in like April or May, we already just straight up played Duke 3D. I had to let one of my friends yesterday know about the existence of Duke Nukem, which was odd. It was an odd experience to have to be the one to say, oh, here's this thing, it's called Duke Nukem. But I also felt I felt a little bit of moral imperative to do so, because they're a big fan of the Borderlands games, and considering Gearbox is the one that picked up the mantle, it's just like, oh no, you're like, you're basically already adjacent to, you know, modern day the modern day caretakers of Duke. Like you're, it is shocking that you haven't stumbled on this by your own, and you should know what this thing you like is a part of, and that's Duke. Something else gonna come out of here. Yeah, it hurts to be in though, so I don't want to explore it. Alright, now we're down here, and again, this looks like elevator. So here's the thing. I don't know what it says about me, but that like last re-release, the 20th anniversary world tour or whatever, they added another episode to Duke 3D. It's all new maps. It's all new quips. I kind of want to experience that. I want to know. I want to play. I want to hear the new dumb things that Duke says now. Right? And like, to be clear, like Duke 3D. So it's kind of interesting, right? Because like at the time, Duke 3D was iterating on sort of the Doom formula. It was episodic. It had the shareware. It was a first-person shooter that focused more on the power curve than on difficulty curve. If you want to know what the distinction between those are, check out last week's episode of Doom WAD Travelogue. But also, like, it went out of its way to add more gimmicks, like the idea of like the cameras, and it did a lot with making the levels really interesting and dynamic in the way that they shifted around, and secrets hidden in them, and multiple pathways through things, switch puzzles, and I'm basically just talking about the first episode of, or the first level of the first episode of Duke 3D. Like, as something to look at on this show, I think it is absolutely, it's in the 3D realm of the stuff we talk about. But I'm gonna adjust my camera a tiny little bit, and that's gonna ruin everything forever. Ooh, no, I wedged that in right there, right there. I'm gonna say right there for now, because now I gotta redo my cropping too. Yeah, so I don't know where he's done it, but somehow I can't stand the new Doom Eternal. I know it's supposed to be a throwback. Yep. Nonsensical Okay. Let's talk about Doom Eternal. Let's roll it back. Let's talk about Doom 2016. I thought Doom 2016 was good and fun, but it was not the throwback to Doom and Doom 2 that everybody was praising it as. Because when I think of Doom and Doom 2, by this point, followers know what I think of, because it's things like this. It's about, like, it is a tricks and traps dungeon crawling experience. It is seeing the gimmicks. It is seeing the traps. It is seeing the monster closets. And I'm not saying that Doom 3, was better because it had monster closets. That's not what I'm saying. By the way, Doom 3 in VR, when you have separate gun and flashlight hand and you actually have to do the thing, that's a pretty good experience. I've been meaning to play the rest of Doom 3 that way. But when they described it as 2016 Doom was like Tony Hawk's Doom Skater, that made sense, because it was about a whole bunch of things. It was about movement. It was about like chaining. It was about finding game flow. It was about all of these things that were good, but were not what the like original Dooms were about. So when they called it a throwback, I'm just like, it's not. It's its own thing. It's good. It's not a throwback. And then Doom Eternal. Okay, so the proper noun stuff that they did in that, where it's just like, it is, I'm a little mixed on it, because it's dumb and I like it. Again, sort of for what it is. I don't think Doom guys should talk. I don't think Doom guys should have a face. You see the way that I play this game, where normally his little face is right there, but that idea of like, like he never talks, he doesn't have a voice, and when you draw like fan art of Doom Guy, you draw it helmet on, opaque faceplate. He is less, and so this was the thing. So somebody was talking about when you're here in like Doom 1 and you run, you're running at like 50 scale miles an hour, like it is way beyond human run speed. So to me, Doom Guy is like a spirit of vengeance who has been reincarnated into the body of a hovercraft. You know, just the speeds and the momentum and all of that, and there's just a gun mounted right in the chest, and like Doom Guy is not a person, basically, you know. The reason I think all of that, I think all of the proper noun stuff in Doom Eternal works because it's building on the sort of canon of Doom Guy in 2016. And that canon is he has had enough of this shit. And in 2016, everybody was reading that as he has seen the demon thing before. This is not his first rodeo. He is sick of seeing people let themselves be taken in by demons. In Eternal, I love that what he does in that game is like they're building on what he is sick of, which is not just another demon invasion. It is he has now, you know, been sort of inducted into this, you know, Catholic Viking spirit wolf. The angels and angels and demons are just aliens from, you know, way far out and technologically advanced. Like he's seen all of that, and he knows fully that it's like a matter of class politics, and it's layers upon layers of like industrialization and like not necessarily like capitalism, but that idea of like you know imposing tech upon nature for the ends of, you know, power for powerless sake. And like I love that they introduce all of these proper nouns because Doom Guy is sick of them too. Like the whole thing is Doom Eternal Doom Guy is just like all of y'all care so much about this, and it's all garbage. All of y'all are garbage. Like, yes, the codex says that like he was inducted and he has the Praetor armor because he, you know, that is the warrior armor of this, you know, clan, but he basically broke out of it, right? Like he's not the guy who put himself into self-exile. That guy who was just like, it's like, oh, I, you know, was a traitor to my clan because I just wanted to see my dead son who got turned into the icon of sin and also cyborgatized. Yes, I read all of this shit. Stick with me. He put himself into self-exile, but self-exile from the clan because he feels he is not worthy for the clan anymore, which means he still buys into that whole structure. Doom Guy is separate from him. Doom Guy is just like, you're bullshit too because you're still giving credence to their whole bullshit structure. Doom Guy is just like, I'm just gonna steal this shit and kill the demons, and all of y'all are wrong too. So he's like, he still has a 2016 seen it all, sick of it all, but it is, and so that's why, you know, I sort of agree with you, like what that, I think the pronoun stuff is bullshit, but I'm glad it's there because our main character Doom Guy is on my side with me. He also thinks it's bullshit. Our avatar is on the same page as us, and I love that that's the thing. That's why I'm happy that stuff is in there, because our in-game avatar, our sort of our blank slate through which we enter this world, agrees with us that like, no, all of that stuff is bullshit. Let's just pay it no respect. It is in there to be disrespected, which is what I want to do to it. So it's just like, yes, it's there, but we're doing to it what it is. Doom Eternal is a vessel for disrespecting proper noun storylines, right? That's kind of what my take on all that has been. That being, plus also the part of the codex where they do mention that, like, in that timeline continuity, whatever, they found him wandering a desert, having fallen out of a portal after having like years of just, you know, fighting across space and time in different universes, which I love because that is just like a very subtle way to just like quietly soft canonize all of the Doom WADs. It's just like, yes, in every universe, you're Doom guy, you're going through all these things, you've done all of these things. That was all him just doing that for centuries or whatever, you know, until time was meaningless. I don't like that he talks though. The flashbacks where he talks, even just to say like, cause like that sort of mixes it, right? The idea that like he has been driven to madness and like lost, like a madness that makes him lose his humanity. He is no longer a man, he is the Doom guy. They undid that with the flashbacks. Those are the parts, because then he is like, he's so like talking in a mad way, just like the demons, you have all seen them, but he is the rambling mad guy. You know, he has a rambling madness versus the like lost his humanity, except for the human nature to not give a shit and not put up with this bullshit anymore. Like in the flashbacks, he is a different character from who, you know, I picture him as from the old games, but he's also a different character from who you're playing in Doom Eternal. And it's just like, and he's a worse character than either of those two that they present. Like he had this like awkward tween phase when he joined up with that, when he joined, you know, the band in middle school or whatever. That's what those flashbacks are. And like, no, like that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Like Doom guy never talked. So if we're flashing back to this middle part where he did talk for a little bit and he had a face and he had all of this, like, no, he is, if he ever talked, it was before the Phobos experiment in Doom 1. It was somewhere in the 80s he talked and he had like a family or whatever. I love all the pet rabbit stuff though, but he should be like it's okay for him to not just be like, you know, a spirit of rage. It's okay to humanize him, but it's in that weird like it's the difference between personification and anthropomorphizing, right? So I looked into this in middle school when I was learning about what are furries, because there's a distinction, because I forget which way it goes, but one of them is like, no, technically that doesn't count. If you take an inanimate object, like, you know, the brave little toaster. The brave little toaster is an inanimate object that has been given human-like qualities. I think this is anthropomorphizing, is you give them human-like qualities. So now he has eyes and a face and he talks and all of that. But like the base is this object that we apply human things onto. Whereas the personification is sort of like you start with like the shape and vessel of a human, but then you fill it with all of the traits of this emotion or object, or, you know, you fill like a person with traits until they as a person are thematic, and that's personification, right? Doom guy, like, to me has always been like anthropomorphized is the way to treat him. The Doom guy is not necessarily a person, is not necessarily a human. The Doom guy is the Doom guy, is the demon slayer, is the whatever. And it's fun to be like, also he like here's a spirit of rage, here is this object which is like a spirit of rage, is just like violent avatar, whatever. And let's give him human traits for fun. So also he has a pet. Also he, you know, has guitars on his wall that he probably doesn't know how to play. Also, he here is his bookshelf. Let's map these human things onto what is essentially an object, a non-human object, versus what Doom Eternal sort of backwards its way into with the Doom guy was saying, like, okay, here's is they went back to it doing it the other way, and they were just like, it's like, no, we're gonna look at this thing, and like he was driven mad, and then he did this, and now all that's left of what was once a person is this, like, he was rambling and now he's just sick and tired, and all that's left is like he's just gonna do his thing of the violence against demons and just handle it, and that's all that's left of him is this thematic demon slayer thing. And that was my disappointment with Doom Eternal Doom Guy. That's why Doom Guy shouldn't have a face, because he's not a person. You know, you can give him human elements, but they are not his. They are placed upon him. You know, we're not. Yeah, no, you brought. I have thought. Doom Eternal came out right around my birthday, and I was ready to take off like a weekend to play through it and deep dive into it, and then everything happened, so I got more time to spend on Doom Eternal and think really hard about it, especially because I was so disappointed with. You want to get into, so this is just talking about it in thematic terms. You want to talk about Doom Eternal is more of the throwback nostalgic play than 2016 was, because 2016, Snap Map aside, we can talk about Snap Map another time. I like Snap Map for many different reasons. Doom 2016 went back to neon green standout floating armor shards and the blue bottle health bonuses, and all of your items and pickups were floating. And if you compare the Doom Eternal, monster designs to 2016 and also to original Doom Eternal, like pinkies and art files and all of that, and the pain elementals are like 3D recreations of the Doom and Doom 2 sprites in a way that Doom 2016 was not. Doom 2016 was closer to like the Doom 3 reimagining of those monsters in this self-contained, thematic, artistically designed world. So when you want to talk about which one of those is the nostalgia bomb, it's Doom Eternal, because it went back to being, this is a dumb video game and we're just going to do it the way that we used to do it. Whereas comparatively, Doom 2016 was just like, no, we're building this world that has got the Doom guy and it's got these other elements, and like, I am still just bewildered at how anybody thought that 16 was a throwback in the first place, and later, once Eternal was out, saying that 16 was still the bigger throwback than Eternal was. Okay, all of the other stuff with the, like, also, let's just be real, basically just the flamethrower. When you look at the way that Eternal built, you know, iterated, you know, and expanded, no, not even in quotes, expanded is a fine word. The way that Eternal expanded on the mechanics of 16, it widened it, but it didn't necessarily, like, it took what felt like a like one piece, just kind of do the thing and have fun, and it broke it into component parts and spread it out in a way that's like, in like a high meta level version of backtracking. It made busy work out of it, because it said, hey, like it was this 3-piece, like shoot until you're low on health, and then glory kill to get your health back, and then I don't need, like, and then chainsaw to get ammo back, right? And that was your 3 thing. And that would have been fine, but then they added this other thing of like, okay, well now you have this flamethrower, so you're either getting health or armor, but also because now you have like more resources that you're juggling, you need things that are more in your face. But they are so eager to get into your face that actually you're wasting a lot of that stuff up front, and then you're left with all the heaviest stuff that is like in the back. And also let's add, you know, boost dodging and chain gunning, so like part of them rushing into your face is like you need to be running. Doom 2016 was about running forward and shooting, and Doom Eternal is about running backwards until you can like grapple hook and get somewhere else and run forward and shoot again. Like oh my gosh, it was like Eternal 2016 had a great flow. Eternal made that flow like have more turns in a single loop of that flow, and just made it so much harder to stay on that flow. I took my glasses off. I can't even read the chat right now. Have I gone too far yet? You were not expecting to open this box. Oh. Yeah. I felt the flamethrower, chainsaw, glory. Use your tools all the time, so you don't get anything from glory. Yeah, no, that was essentially what it was. It gave you new tools, and then was like, oh, we need to give you reasons to use these tools. And that was my whole thing. Like, Doom Eternal, I think is... I might like it less than Doom 3. I definitely like it less than 16 and, you know, OG Doom 2. I like Eternal less than all of those. So much because, like, the thing that it really highlighted and focused on was the busy work of its system that it touted. Like, hey, we've expanded it, and they said made it better. You've expanded it into more busy work, and just like, it wasn't fun. It made the game feel like a slog, because it was just like, I have to work so much harder in every encounter on stuff that isn't the fun thing to do. They gave me a bunch of things to do that weren't the fun thing. And okay, I'm not gonna lie, if you want to ask me, you know, I said Eternal was, in terms of like the monster design, like the more nostalgia bomb one. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's wild that people think that that's not the nostalgia bomb one when it is like just directly taking the old stuff. I'm okay with it if you want to do that. If you want to make it Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament and everything that you can pick up is neon color and floating, I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. I love games like that. Do I like that better? I think that's really a matter of taste. Like, I am a sucker for nostalgia bombs. So like, yeah, no, I do. Saying like, hey, it's two different appreciations. Like, here's the original thing. Here's like the as close as we can get interpretation, but modernized. I love that. I talk about it in these Doom levels, like, you know, in the WADs that we check out. I love something that is like faithful but modernized. I love those takes, but also I love the reimagining take and being like, you know, this is inspired from this. We're keeping it like thematically in line. We're keeping color palettes or whatever in line. We're keeping purpose in line, but we're doing a new take on it. And like, oh, this one's sharper or more jumpy, or you. But still, like, I can appreciate that too. So I think, in as far as that goes, like, the nostalgia bomb aspect, I don't think that's good or bad. I think it's just another way to go with it, depending on what you're into at the moment. But and sort of like same with the cartooniness. Like, I do. It feels weird that like the one where they developed the world and universe more is also the one where they went more cartoony. Like, I don't know if that was like to counterbalance or just like different parts of the team were working on each, and just like they decided that it was fine to go that way and to sort of like split the difference by, you know, going opposite directions, and it kind of averages back to the middle. Yeah, I like that interpretation. It was weird though, because like maybe more the issue I had with it is like when they went back to the more like faithful interpretations, it felt like they knew less what to do with them gameplay wise, right? Because then it was this thing of just like, well, now we're just going to throw them in there, which is kind of faithful because you had that small, you know, character set, and then you just sort of filled the spaces with them. Again, the Mega Man X kind of thing I was talking about last week, where it's just like they had their tool set and they filled the spaces, rather than something like a Mega Man that says like your player is your narrow tool set, and then we're going to go just hog wild with novel spaces to put that into. But compared to like even 2016, and even then, even compared to like Doom 3, with the idea of just like, we are kind of in those, because they were like reinterpreting, they were essentially building their own tools, and they had an idea in mind of how to use them. But in something like Eternal, when they were like, no, people want the throwback aspect, let's do the old thing again, then they were trying to work with tools that weren't necessarily their own, that maybe, and I don't know enough about the actual, you know, creative direction process on any of this, but what I get from playing it is a feeling like I can imagine that it was just like, this is what people want, so let's work with that, but they needed to like reverse engineer it because that wasn't the path that they were on originally. Like, left to their own devices, that isn't what they would have done. So it's like working with somebody else's tool. It's like driving somebody else's car at that point. Like, yeah, you can do it and you can show up in the cool car, but it's like you're not going to like be as intuitive with those tools as the ones that you make yourself to accomplish what you had in mind. You know, that's kind of the read that I had gotten on all of that, which is part of why then the like a lot of mechanicals of Eternal felt like we had this idea for what the end product should look like, for the end product should look like. It should be like, we're going to add the flamethrower, we're going to add these other things, we're going to go more nostalgic on the designs, we're going to do all of that. But like, then they had to reverse engineer all of it, so it all feels a little like the assembly feels more clunky, where 2016, it's not exactly the throwback, it's not exactly what you remember, it may not exactly be the way that you thought they were going to go, but as a wrapped final product, it's butter. It's smooth as butter, and it's delicious like butter. You ever just eat butter? I'll listen. I'll do it. I'll eat butter sometimes, and it's good. And Doom 2016 was just like, you can't have a whole stick of butter. You get sick on it, but you just want to like, all right, here's like 2 tablespoons to go in the noodle, and here's 1 tablespoon just for Papa over here. And you just have a little bit and just, and it's good. And that was 2016. It was just like little bite-sized nuggets, and the whole thing was tasty and smooth going down. And this metaphor has gotten away from me. I forgot to have breakfast. 2016, I think it's just a better game. Like, Eternal might be the bigger game, but it is in contrast to itself in a number of points that I think overall brings the quality down of the final product, of the product as a whole. Eating straight butter, if not that, I gotta eat straight mayo. And listen, I'd rather have the butter. I don't know. I'm gonna do something bad with food and my body, and you know, you have to pick the lesser of two evils sometimes. You know, and it was weird talking about them as packages. This is just the rest of the show now. I'm going to finish this rant, and we're going to finish this level, and then we're going to wrap it up for today's show. By the way, this is what you've done. This is fine. I'm not upset. Just know at this point. So where like, at what part of, like, Guns on a Wheel is not a throwback thing. Doom 3, you were still picking your weapons on the number keys. Like the fact that it's on a wheel is a nod to the controller wheel pick, wheel select, radial menu. Like, having, like, the radial menu is something from the controller era, and it doesn't go back any further than that. So that's a weird thing. Like that isn't, I don't necessarily consider that a throwback part of it. All of the mod stuff on the guns, so that way you sort of like have alt fires on the guns, that's not necessarily a throwback part of it. And the constant move and shoot style, maybe it's just the way that I play Doom that you've seen now, but like, so that's where I think maybe I'm just different, because when you look at sort of like the Doom community and you look at people saying like, oh no, the way to play is you play on ultra violence and you do slaughter maps and it's keep moving or die. And like, the way that a lot of people sort of like went with like the meta of Doom and Doom maps, I can kind of see that. But like, from my experience, that's never what Doom was. Doom was about, you know, it was your Mega Man thing. You know what sort of like weapons you're gonna have, and then it's about making the interesting spaces that are gonna be dynamic, that are gonna like try and fool you, that are gonna be monster closets. Like, you know, at what point is this other half of the level gonna open and the whole thing is a monster closet, but now the level is twice as big. It's the navigation, it's the searching, it's like, I have no idea what this switch does. Let's see if it releases monsters or opens a door and or lowers an elevator. You never know. Find out. Like, I had started doing this, I forget if it was middle school or high school, and in my brain I still want to get back to it, but I just took like D20 Modern and like printouts of the maps from Doom and just said, these are the dungeons we're running, and played like tabletop RPG style with the Doom maps. And you know what? It wasn't that bad. Now, with all of the game design learning behind me, like, yeah, I'm going to make some more adjustments if I ever go back to it. But just like sort of on that premise of just like, you're going to have your combat encounter, and then you're going to have some like levers and pits and branching paths that you just need to like explore, and there will be danger behind all of them. That's some D&D shit. Straight up. And like, it's great for that. I mean, so that, okay, so you want to follow it in a weird way, and you want to talk about, you can trace, I saw somebody talking about this on Twitter the other day, but you want to talk about like, there is a lineage of throwback shooters, because, you know, Doom to Quake, and then that went on to like Quake 3, and then you get into competitive shooters, and you have the Unreal tournaments, and eventually that ended up over in like Call of Duty multiplayer territory, right? But somewhere around like Quake 2, you start going off Serious Sam. Serious Sam just put out another game, but like Serious Sam kept that alight in the whole time that Duke Nukem 3D or Duke Nukem Forever was being developed. So those two are sort of like your throwback ones. And then yeah, Wolfenstein kind of came back to it, but like you look at Wolfenstein, and Wolfenstein is also so much like Wolfenstein tried to learn from like Half-Life and all of the other like story-driven shooters. The first new Wolfenstein, I hate the way we have to talk about these things. You know, I take that back. Wolfenstein, there was the Raven Wolfenstein, the Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Enemy Territory, all of that stuff. Wolfenstein was like sort of the throwback lineage, and it was doing that for a long time. And like, was it New Order, I guess? That was actually like less a throwback and more a reboot of Wolfenstein with more modernizations, with the radio wheel, with the whole scene on the train where like it's interactive, but there's no shooting. It is a narrative moment where you're staring down, where it manages to do really good like narrative, emotionally tense moments that aren't just holding, you know, a shotgun in each hand and running down a corridor. Like, it modernized because like it kept a lot of that old stuff, but then basically that stuff like has already been there, and then it went hard adding the new stuff. So like, I don't know. So Wolfenstein's an interesting one to bring up that way. Also, you want to talk about the whole resurgence of Dusk was like a thing trying to be a Quake again. You look at games like Strife, you know, and that gets into like indie scene and how many of them are roguelikes and whatever, but the idea of like, you know, there is a lineage of throwback shooters. And it's like, if you weren't paying attention, yeah, Doom might feel like one, but if you're paying attention, it's really not, is like where I sit on it. Sit on it. I'm tired now. That Snap Map. Okay, Doom 2016. Right, talking about it as a whole package. Doom 2016, the single player campaign, closed package, really good. Snap Map, I could go off about Snap Map, but the fact that Snap Map didn't come back for Eternal or get spun off into its own standalone project, is kind of all I needed to hear to know that the sort of creative direction of Doom Eternal was not going in what I considered a favorable direction. Because the thing about Snap Map is that if they had gone with Snap Map, that is the closest to being the throwback to, and the legacy of Doom is Doom WADs. Snapback, no Snapback, no, I don't even know that meme. Snap Map was the user-generated content, and the fact that it was like node-based programming, like, you know, an MIT Scratch or something like that. It was accessible programming for non-programmers. On top of all of that, like, I had halfway built a MOBA in Snap Map before it was clear that Snap Map had been left by the wayside and I was never going to get enough players to play test it. It was basically the reason why that fell off. But like Snap Map was like, oh, this is, you know, user created. It's doing really intuitive things just for like games and content creation as a whole. Like, it was doing some beautiful things, and they just left it because it wasn't really well wrapped into the product in the first place. The way that 2016 like executables were organized, just in terms of like technical delivery or whatever, there's probably a way to just take the Snap Map third of that game and just say, and now it's on the Bethesda launcher, and you can just run Snap Map and, you know, pay $5. Make it free. User generated content. It is a free thing. You do. All the content is user created. You buy the cosmetics, which was already in there. There was already cosmetics that you would buy to put stickers on your guns and get the like pearlescent metal finish. That was already in there, which already had separate trackings from the multiplayer third. Yeah, people complained about that multiplayer part of 16, saying it wasn't good, which, first of all, if they were just thinking, oh, it's like Snap Map, but Snap Map relies on user-generated content, and that takes a lot of work, like, yeah, it does, but also that wasn't the multiplayer. The multiplayer was just like, the multiplayer felt like some Quake 3, all right, maybe a little more like Doom 3, Quake 4 style, you know, Doom Quake multiplayer, but it was kind of just that again. And I played a bunch of it and it was fine. It wasn't, you know, it didn't translate everything from the single player game. Like, I think there were glory kills, but only so much as, like, you know, a lot of multiplayer games have execution animations these days, which that has, you know, gone near. So it's not like trying to do that is what broke it. It was just fine. I don't know why people ragged on it. It wasn't as novel as the single player part of it, but it was fine. And then, so when Eternal comes in and says, you didn't like that multiplayer, you didn't touch Snap Map, fine, but we still want something to let players interact. And they did the battle mode. And I gotta tell you, that battle mode is interesting. I played a bunch of it. I love playing as a Pain Elemental because you're like a support and you can fly, and gamers don't know how to look up, so pro strats right there. And the fact that it was like asymmetric and 2-on-1, they were doing, in terms of interesting design that is fun to play with, Eternal single player did not have the fun to play with part, but the multiplayer I did find fun to play. And if I had ever found, like, you know, a partner who wanted to go in hard on that, like, that could have been like a weekly game night, is just get together and just run house in the battle zone, battle mode, whatever they called it. I don't know how that's doing. That might be doing okay, but like, that was the one where they kind of like, it's like I say with maps. You say, here's my interesting thing, here's my gimmick, I'm gonna do just what I need to do to make that, to support that, and then get out. And that's like what the multiplayer was, and not what the single player was for Eternal. And the single player really suffered for it, I felt. Apparently I'm crazy. Apparently a lot of people don't agree with me, and everybody just says like, oh, the lore is stupid. But like, no, like, if you like it, you like busy work. And there are people out there who like busy work in their games, and I'm definitely not one of them. But if you're telling me you have Doom 2016 and your improvement is to add busy work, that just sounds insane to me. Bring back Snap Map, you cowards. It was so good. I'm fighting so hard not to just go off about how good Snap Map was right now. I'm getting hot. Let's finish this level and then I'm gonna go have something to eat, because holy cow, y'all. Video game. Enhance. That's how you make it bigger, right? You just yell enhance. So I just jumped down a thing. I landed on a red skull key. I guess we're gonna need all of them to get through here. Okay, I'm gonna have to... Elevator. How am I supposed to just go back into the game after all of that? I would be willing to say that Eternal is told well, but it is a different story. Because... Oh, yo, can you pop me up here? No, because that's why it's the 2-tier fall down, is to make sure that you can't just have him pop you up to sequence break. Is that 4 now? Should be 10 more. It's telling a different story, because the problem is that to set up how are we feeling? We're feeling good enough to save. In order to, you know, like I said, to me, it still read that Doom guy was sick of the proper noun consortium, and he was ripping on them. But part of the proper noun, the problem with the proper noun thing is that in order to really get the feeling that that's what it is, in order to set up that that is what that is, you have to do the thing. 2016 was kind of a, I don't know if I would call it getting away with, but like, you want to tell the story that, oh, monolithic company develops new technology that turned out is actually bad for everybody. Like that is an easy story to tell because we get it. Like we basically live in that, right? Beat that too early. So that is like a you don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting to have people follow that story. But to do a proper noun thing, it's just like no, you have to set up these are the so-and-sos and these are the so-and-sos and these are the so-and-sos and they hate them, but they work with them in order to get back at them, even though they came from years before. I mean, but so like that's the thing though, right? Because like theoretically, if you're putting it all together, 2016 is the first part of that in media res, right? Because it is the like, oh, what is happening over there? So did I drop in too late and I missed that one switch? Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is all, wow, okay. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Doom. But not that Doom. Like, assembling the whole timeline, Doom 2016 happens once he's already broken away from the whole Space Templar thing, right? Like, but it's not a problem because they don't address it. It's not part of that story. But like theoretically, that Space Templar thing is explaining why he is the way he is from all of that. Like they are explaining that same story, but it's once you get into it's because of proper nouns, then you have to do the proper noun style of storytelling, and that's not fun. And like, yes, okay, if you want to look at it that way, then they also do a bad job of telling the proper noun style storytelling because they're putting a lot of it into codex. They're trying to split the difference and not really land on either because it's we don't want to just do the whole proper noun thing at you, but we need to do enough so you know he is sick and tired of the proper noun story, and it's just like you just kind of landed in between. I dealt with that room. Let me see what happens in here this time. Ooh, that was rude. So okay, so the Space Wolf is new, but all of the Space Templars were in 2016. Oh, where was it in 2016? That stuff was in 2016, definitely as like cosmetic pieces of armor that you could have for customizing in the multiplayer modes. But I thought that stuff did end up, man, that is a good, interesting new enemy. I thought some of that stuff, like, kind of in the same way appeared and just like, oh yeah, no, sometimes there's like Space Templar holograms that hand you coins or something. The weird, like, Templar Knight flat-headed things. Maybe it wasn't in the main game. Maybe I'm just sort of, sticking that into the passive it, but like okay, well I got 2 keys now. Man, now I'm gonna have to go play 16 to remember and to load up Snap Map and see if I can finish that MOBA. God, I could actually make it more like a MOBA. I could do camps that when you control them, then your spawners are on a timer. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I should just really elaborate on that. But like, yeah, like it was less in your face in 16, but I feel like a lot of that stuff was there, but was just left as sort of like unexplained. It's just like, oh, this is just some Doom stuff happening. Oh, maybe it was only in the multiplayer. All right, Red Sci-Fi Night guys. Oh, yeah, the upgrade. Those weren't the same guys though. Those were definitely more in the actually just Sci-Fi Elite Trooper range of design. Okay, so I want to hit this, and I want to hit. I don't know what I've done, but I hope it helped. Okay, I got him. I can't do this right now because it's sunk. As soon as it comes up. There we go. Okay. I guess, okay, so I guess if it wasn't in the main game, but it was like multiplayer cosmetics, like I guess that counts way more as they had it in mind. I guess they had it in mind is way more like it sort of informs bits of the first game, even if it didn't necessarily appear in it as is. So it doesn't really, or like it was the whole sword, like it was a cool ass sword, but they never really explain it. But like then, you know, Eternal just says, "Oh no, yeah, that cool ass sword is like." The Doom guy knows exactly what that cool ass sword is, which is why, you know, he's going after it, knows how to use it, and all of that. Like, because, and again, maybe I'm just like thinking of it backwards now, but the way I remember it is that 2016 Doom guy had like a knowledge that was more than just like have dealt with this before, but it was a knowledge that was just like no, there are like specific artifacts that he seems to know exactly what's up, how to use, what their purpose is. That then you get into like, oh no, actually he was part of this ghostly, ethereal, guardian, paladin thing. It's just like, okay, yeah, no, that does go to some explain some of the things that like we're left to be like, I think most people happily accepted as, oh, Doom guy is the only competent one, but like it was a style of competence that stuck out to me that I don't know if it needed explaining, but like makes the explaining not feel out of place to me. I don't know. Yeah, that could just be me. Okay, that was rough, but buttons. Well, thank you. Oh, can we no, these are switches, aren't they? These are not switches? So how do I get over there? Can I just jump? because there was definitely also so 2016 did the fun thing of normally what you have is you have your main character have amnesia, and then, you know, the world has to be explained to them as you go along. But but what 2016 did was, no, your main character is the only one who knows what's going on in greatest detail, but doesn't talk, and so either doesn't or straight up refuses to explain any of it. But then what you did sort of have is it was everybody around them sort of playing that role of just like, man, we don't know what's going on, but here's what our science is finding out, and everything that we have is sort of like present tense generated information about like lab reports and this and that. It is we as the Doom guy, who the players don't know knows everything going on, is stumbling onto all of the logs of the people who don't know, and so the story is being told that way. So that's why it definitely it feels like it's all sort of introduced naturally. Whereas again, Eternal is just trying to play into this thing of just like, no, Doom guy knows what's going on, and now we're playing in that. Oh my God! There's the last three. Okay, was not expecting. Oh, they just gave me a thing. Oh, go down! Whew. And that's where the like that's part of why Eternal feels so much more in media res, is because you start interacting with other characters who also know what's going on, but then are willing to talk about it and are willing to open up and just be like, oh, it's not their time. You know how the legend goes, Doom guy. And Doom guy knows how the legend goes, has known through all of 2016, just isn't gonna open his mouth because he's sick of it. But then when you have all these other like there is this like it jumps too high. Eternal doesn't have your audience stand-in who knows nothing. You just have Doom guy who knows everything and Space Paladins who know everything, and they're talking way above the player's head in a way that doesn't feel good and feels entirely, you know, you forgot to read the first book of the trilogy of high fantasy. It absolutely does have that feeling. And that's why it doesn't have the like it's like hold up and explain it to me audience stand-in character. Like, who would it even be at that point? Like, but that's what. But again, that kind of goes back to like why I think it works, because what we set up, what is set up from 16, is that we do know Doom guy. Doom guy is competent and sick of all of this shit happening again, and that like Eternal basically treats it that is your foothold, and so like yes, it's adding all of this codex about the other stuff happening. But again, it's that idea of just like, the codex is optional. You don't need to know everything that's happening, because they're saying, no, the audience foothold, the audience knows enough already, which is that Doom guy is competent and is sick of all of this shit happening again. Except in Eternal, it's not just demon invasion brought on by experiments on Mars. It's all of this Praetor Space Templar bullshit, you know? It's just sort of swapping that out. But the audience foothold is Doom Guy is competent and sick of all of this shit happening again. Like you don't need like the if you spent the time to read the codex, then they put too much of the stuff that should have been in the codex in the game, because you don't need that stuff. And if they put enough that like it asks questions that you feel the need to fill in, then that's where they messed up. You just need to know these are some proper names that know Doom Guy and that Doom Guy knows, and Doom Guy is sick of them. That's all you needed to know to like get the like critical path story of Doom Eternal. Everything in the codex was fun bonus fluff where it's just like, no, we do know everything else that's going on. You don't need to. You need to know Doom Guy is sick of these proper noun assholes over here. Yeah, no, I'm setting PBs here today. I'm gonna touch this and then I'm gonna end the stream because I'm really hungry, and I think I have to go ship a bunch of packages either tonight or tomorrow, so I might as well go get started on that. I want to thank you for. Oh, I didn't even have. I forgot. I turned that off on this view. I can turn that back on though. Y'all didn't even have the game on the screen while I was complaining all of that time. I'm sorry. It's fine. We're here for the conversation today, I guess. Oh, a bar of butter would be really good. If I like wrap it in a tortilla first, does that make it better or worse? Because then it's a sandwich. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I didn't even hit the end of the level. I gotta hit the end of the level on screen. Touch. Candle Cove. Oh, okay. I see you want to do it that way. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for putting up with me talking a lot about Doom Eternal. I have strong feelings on that game for something I didn't. What is it? Not liking something and not caring about something are different, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't spend that much energy on it. You wouldn't spend enough energy to dislike it. Just hitting randomize on your own face a lot. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for looking at 2 maps, I think is all we did. That's cool. That's fine. This was episode you could hear anyway. I wonder if I'll get that joke when I look at this later, because that's a joke just for me, folks. Once again, just want to remind you, in a week and a couple of days, doing the Extra Life stream, November 7th and 8th. Please come by for that. It's for a good cause and it should be a fun time. And until next time, stay home, wear a mask when you go out, wash your hands a whole bunch, amplify the voices of those who cannot speak for themselves. If you think you are neutral, you are siding with the oppressor, and the rule that underscores the rest of these rules is take care of one another. I'll see you next time.